I wanted to have a candid, open, I want to say discussion, but honestly, any video is more of a monologue. So I want the discussion to happen in the comments, but talk about mental health, especially in relation to tarot. I've been reading tarot for 2.5 years now, and I will say that I do think my relationship with tarot is very healthy. I don't read every day, but I do read for myself very often. I don't make all my decisions based on the cards that I pull. I don't think that tarot and the readings that I do have a negative impact on my mental health. But I also want to say that I think that tarot cannot be the answer if you do struggle mentally. But when it comes to my own personal mental health, I have had a lot of issues. I think I went into a depression when I was like 16 years old. I did not know what it was. I just knew that I couldn't get out of bed and I didn't want to do anything. And it wasn't just, puberty and all that stuff. It was really more serious than that. And after my depression, I also got anxiety, which really heightened when I was around the age of 20. And I went into therapy then. And I had an amazing therapist, and that was a really wonderful experience. I did therapy for about 2 years, and I haven't really had any panic attacks ever since. Ever since my depression sort of came back seasonally. So, if you would call it like SAD, seasonal affective disorder. So, every autumn, winter, I get more depressed. And I don't really struggle with it outside of those seasons. And I didn't even feel like I was really struggling with it like last year or this year up until a couple of weeks ago. Another thing that wasn't really doing any wonders for my mental health was the fact that I sort of got burnt out when I was 22 years old. I'm not going to go into any details, but it definitely was work related and I got a burnout. And ever since, my brain has not been the same. I get very clear indications of when, like, what my max is, when, like, where my boundaries are, and when I need to stop working or just doing things. And for me, that is mostly having to do with reading. So reading is very hard for me, not because I can't read, but because I have a lot of trouble focusing on text, which is really unfortunate because I actually always really love to read. But whenever I'm reading and the text is starting to get blurry, and it doesn't have to do anything with my eyesight, but when it starts to get blurry and I can't focus on the text anymore, it's not like entering my brain, that is when I know I have to stop, because that is exactly what happened when I got burnt out. And I don't know, I get sort of triggered and I know that, like, yeah, no, here and not any further. Those are my boundaries. And I feel like getting a burnout at 22 has really taught me where my boundaries are and to take care of myself and to really stick to those boundaries. Because especially in my work now, I am a teacher. I teach fourth grade. I only teach 3 days a week because I can't mentally handle 5 days a week. Already 3 days a week in this profession is really mentally and emotionally taxing for me, as well as physically, by the way. And in my work, I really notice that whenever I get these signs, where my eyesight is sort of getting blurry when reading anything, and I have to stop. And sometimes, as a teacher, that feels not really possible. And I know from coworkers, not only at this job, but previous jobs as well in teaching, that teachers find it really hard to know their limits and to stick to their limits. And I have really learned that I should stick to my limits, because if I don't and I get burnt out again, then they're not even gonna have me there because I can't. And I'd rather go home early every day, which I haven't even been doing that much, but I'd rather be going home early every day than burn out and not be there for weeks or months. And that is just sort of how I keep myself sane and how I comfort myself, I guess, in letting myself know that I should take care of myself. And that is also how this channel, like the focus on my channel, I wanted to be more on empowering you to take better care of yourself. And that is when I did my podcast, which also was something that I had to stop in order to prevent burnout. But when I did do my podcast, I would do like self-care messages, self-worth messages, because that is something that is really important to me. And I don't know how I want to implement self love, self care, and empowering you to have more self care and have more self love and a better feeling of self worth. I want to implement that into my channel somehow relating to tarot, but I'm not really sure how I want to do that. And I think for me, how I'm doing that is just by making you feel really comfortable reading the tarot, which is a goal of my channel where I want to help you read the tarot. But lately, I've been having a little bit of an issue with reading tarot for myself because of my mental health. And I have an entire course. I have an online course where I teach you tarot. In case you're interested, link down below. That's not what this video is about, but I have a lesson where I specifically talk about how important it is to not read tarot when you're mentally in a bad state. And there are so many reasons for this, but mostly because, first of all, you can't really interpret the cards objectively, because not only is it about yourself, which can also be really hard when reading for yourself, is to objectively look at the cards, what they're trying to tell you, but also the cards that come out and a message that comes out, if you can even interpret it correctly and objectively somewhat, that maybe you're not in the right headspace to get that message at that point. And I know people have different opinions about this, and that's totally fine. And I also know that some people either personify their decks or feel like some decks give messages differently from other decks. For instance, for me, I really like the Good Karma Tarot on days where I'm not feeling the best, because that deck gives very gentle messages. But I wouldn't put out my Dreaming Way Tarot or my Wild Unknown Tarot, because those are very confronting, and that is not an energy that I need when I'm already in a bad state. But overall, I wouldn't recommend reading tarot when you are in a mentally bad state. And I do feel like right now I'm not in a great state mentally. I already talked about my job. I am a teacher, fourth grade teacher, and I only took this job because I didn't know what else to do. I am very, very, very close to graduating right now. I should be able to make a graduation in March, which I really hope I can do. I can do it. It just, will I, is more the question. But I am not enjoying this job. It has nothing to do with the kids. I basically have perfect circumstances with this job. It's a great school. There's great leadership management. I have great coworkers. I have great kids in my class. I work 3 days a week. I have a great coworker with whom I teach this class. And still, I am not enjoying myself. We are in Christmas break right now when I'm filming. When this goes live, I will have had my first week back after Christmas break. And I'm just so not looking forward to it. And I realized that a couple of days ago, where I realized, oh, I'm going to have to go back to work next week. And I really don't want to. And I feel really bad saying that, because there are so many people involved in my job, especially, 25 kids is involved in my job. And I do know that I will finish this school year, because the class that I'm teaching last year had a lot of switches in teachers, and I don't want to add to that. I want to give them the stability. Plus, I do think that I have it in me to finish out the school year, so I definitely want to do that. But I have sort of told myself that I'm not gonna go teach another school year. This is definitely my max, because I'm just not enjoying it. I'm not having fun. The pay is okay. It's the best I've ever gotten paid, because this is like my first real grown-up job. But I am going over options of what I can do at the end of this school year. My main goal, and I've said this before, my main goal is to do this YouTube channel full time. Not only this YouTube channel, I have created a course. I do readings online. I have I have an ebook. I have all sorts of things that has to do with tarot and with this channel, but it's not just like making YouTube AdSense money. So that is something that I would absolutely love to do. That would be like my main goal if that could be the case at the end of the school year. I don't think I can get there at the end of the school year yet though. So I will I am looking at options, what job I can do alongside my YouTube, growing my YouTube and growing my online business, I guess, what I can do. So I do have another diploma. I don't just do teaching. I have another other diploma in like journalism. So I can always sort of find a job in there as well. So I definitely have options. I just need to look at what options do I like and which ones are financially smart. But that is a lot about me, of course. I don't know. I wanted to talk about mental health, especially like I said, in relation to tarot. I just wanted to talk about candidly how I'm feeling right now, which not the best, but I'm okay. And as well as should you read tarot when you're in a mentally bad state? I talked about that. And also, should you use tarot to better your mental health? I personally feel like half like no, because when you are really, really struggling mentally, I think that the best option, hands down, is therapy. For me, that's a little bit hard because first of all, it's really seasonal. I know in like 2 months, this is gonna go away. It's very circumstantial as well with my job. So I feel like when this job goes away, I won't be feeling the same way anymore. So I do feel like it's really circumstantial. I've also already had therapy, and the closest therapy offices I can only reach by car because the public transit like to those places is really bad, and I don't have a car. Not really a funny story, but I got into an accident like 2.5 years ago, and I haven't driven a car since. It is my goal for 2023 to get over my car and driving anxiety, and I do have driving lessons planned at the end of January, which I am really, really scared of, but I just want to feel comfortable driving again, and I haven't driven for 2.5 years, so I'm not just gonna get behind the wheel and go drive a car. But I do want to buy a car this year, and I do want to get over my driving anxiety, and hopefully, I don't know if where I'm at then mentally, but we'll see. But yeah, I would love to know from you, what are your thoughts on mental health relating to tarot, or tarot relating to mental health, I guess, as in, would you use tarot when you feel like you are in a mentally bad state? Would you try to use tarot to better your mental health? I feel like if it's like very low key, like you're just not really feeling well and you want to know like what the underlying issue is, I definitely feel like tarot can help for that. And I feel like that has to do with self care as well, but it all depends on how you frame it and how you are feeling. Um, but yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. I know this was a very rambly video, and I'm not even sure if I got all of my thoughts out. I'm gonna finish the rest of my cup of coffee. We got a new coffee machine. I'm really excited about it. We got like a Nespresso machine, and I'm so excited about it. Anyway, everything that you want to know, like follow me, purchase stuff from me if you're interested, is all linked down below. Join the Discord server. It's really fun. We have a Discord community of like-minded tarot enthusiasts. Link is in the description box below. Yeah, I'm just wishing you all the best. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better than I am. And I hope you have a wonderful start of 2023. And I hope you have a lovely remainder of the year 2023. And I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.